Welcome back, Somber here. You are watching my series playing as the Orcs and Goblins in multiplayer. It is turn number 6. So we have a battle in Dead Forest. This is the battle I thought I was going to take a ton of casualties because it's just lots of deer tribe and our main force is a bit depleted. But our profits here, we just don't have very many Warboys. That's the main problem. We've got 2 Warboys and then the rest of our troops are... They've got a few experienced stars, but they're not particularly high quality troops. And looking at this, I think we're just going to fail this battle. Because that's just too many deer tribe warriors. I was hoping it'd be more archers and fewer warriors, but nope. So the archers are taking a few hits from our archers, but our main force is getting chopped up already. The wild boys are doing well, but it's not going to be enough. Goblin archers doing quite well here. A lot more goblin archers would have helped us here, and our forest goblin bosses have run in. Yeah, they're not. They're only 25 gold each. I'm not that upset if they get killed, which it looks like they will. But yeah, so I think I'm just going to lose this one. And we'll just have to see how many we kill. Hopefully my profit escapes. And the goblins should... Oh, yeah, most of them should escape. Okay, so not great. What remains? So the deer tribe archers did rout, so they're all gone. So remaining we have killed 23 out of 49 of the deer tribe warriors. So yeah, only 26 of those remaining, and then led by a barbarian chief and a deer tribe shaman. So this won't be difficult to take. It's just annoying. We didn't take the province and we lost a lot of stuff, including 2 warboys, which actually does matter. The rest I don't particularly care about, although losing the forest goblin bosses is not ideal. Battle in Numecria. So this is our second expansion force. They've got a lot more warboys. This is a much stronger force, to be honest, because they've got the warboys and they've got the boar boys. And they are up against a weaker enemy. This is going to be very easy taking this militia, so I expect I'll take a couple of casualties in this, but nothing really. And there go our boars. Yeah, right at the back. Very well done. So should get some experience stars off that as well, which would be nice. Unexpected event has occurred in Dead Forest. Is this going to be our first good event? We've got luck 3, but so far it's been all bad events. Well, it's good for people who don't like paying... Well, good for people who want to reclaim their taxes. Not good for us. Tax minus 100%, unrest plus 13. So we get no income this turn from this province, and we get a bunch of unrest. We've been really unlucky so far, haven't we? The events have been bad. No good events, and the bad events have all been just taking our gold away and causing unrest. So, unrest is particularly unpleasant for us because we've got turmoil. The unrest reduction is reduced, so it's actually quite slow to get rid of unrest that builds up. So you just lose income over a longer period. So we could do with kind of patrolling some of that out and so on. So what I've decided to do this turn is, obviously we need to go and take this province to get over our embarrassment there of losing to it. And I could have sent my god to go and do that, but instead I am taking my profit down here and I'm taking some of the troops up and we're stacking up this force. This should be enough, but we've also got some goblin archers we're recruiting, just basic goblin archers, just to do a bit more damage to them at long range. And that'll be fine for taking that. Our god is once again in a stupid position where he can't really move to anywhere useful. He hasn't got enough map move to reach this province. A little tip for everyone here: if you press Control M, you can see how far from a place it is to, in terms of map move, to get to them. So we've got 18 over here and 22 over here. Gorgzilla has 16 map move because of his heavy armor, so I can either get his armor off him, which I can't do, or I forge. Where are they? Boots of long strides, which give +6 map move and swiftness 100. So it makes him faster in combat, which is also good if he ever needs to run away, but not really very important to be honest. But he can do some kind of hold and attack rear shenanigans because of his speed then. Anyway, the +6 map move will mean that next turn, when those boots are on him, he'll be able to hit either of these 2 provinces, and then that will decrease the mobility problems because we've had this problem that he's been wandering around and he's not been able to be in range of the things we wanted to hit, so we'll send him over there. Our second expansion force, we could have turned them around and gone after the Atavi, which instead the god will be going and hitting. So we have one group hitting here, and the god will go and hit the Atavi, because they're just Atavi, very frightened of the god, and they'll get beaten. We've got Dominion there. This expansion force has revealed Nuln, so we've got a border with 3 nations. It could be worse. What I want to do, so I could have turned around here and gone back, particularly because I'm a little bit weakened because of losing that expansion force, and just make sure that I'm not in trouble. But what I'm going to do is secure this coastline So I'm going to move down here, take this province, and then we've also got to move across there. And part of the reason I'm doing that is that I don't think I'll get a bump there. If I moved here, I might get a bump. They might be looking for a bump. But also because I want to cut off their access to the water, because they are very capable, Nuln, of getting underwater. They've got the items and things that they could do that. You know, they're very fast at researching magic, so they could definitely get something underwater at some point. But I want to make sure they don't, so I'm going to try and like seal off that coastline a little bit. Now, this province is safe for now because I doubt they're going to go into the throne, so we've got a bit of time to do that one. We're kind of hemmed in by thrones on these sides, which is good in a way because it means there's some safer places for us. We don't want to attack them yet. We haven't got the best stuff for taking out these thrones. This one's not a hard throne, but the necromancers, or what are they? They're not necromancers, are they? They're like demonologists. I can't remember. Anyway, they're Death 2, Blood 2 guys, and they're annoying. You need a relatively large army to take that, but it doesn't have to be good stuff because the enemy troop quality is bad. So we can just send in a bunch of rubbish over there once we get some more troops. Our main problem at the moment is, apart from our expansion not going great and the map being very tight, is that we just don't have any income. We keep losing money to these events. Our income is bad because we don't have good scales. We wanted to have supercharged expansion, but it kind of hasn't happened. So yeah, we're just very poor. So every turn, basically, all my money just goes on this. Some Wild Boys, some extra troops, and then Forest Golden Great Shaman. We have to keep getting the Forest Golden Great Shamans because they're our best mage. They're a bit worse in the newer version of the mod. But we need to get our research going, so we're recruiting them. But what we really want to be doing is getting another fort up and another temple up and making more Wild Boys. So we're in kind of a weird position. I don't feel comfortable not just making more troops, I think. Well, maybe I'll... No, let's just do it. Let's just get more troops. I think we need to be strong because I expect a very early war with Slaanesh, and because I'm playing as the Orcs, and, you know, I want to be entertaining, I'm going to be relatively aggressive, so I'm potentially going to attack Slaanesh or Null. Not going to attack the Ogres, most likely. I've been talking to them. Okay, so that's everything for this turn, and hopefully we have a bit more luck next turn. This is a pretty bad one. See you next turn. Hello, it's turn number 7. We have a battle in Terim. This is our southeasterly expansion force. So we've got plenty of Wild Boys, 1 Shaman, and some Boar Boys. And we are fighting a substantial number of troops here, I would have to say. Heavy infantry and light infantry, that's the tougher bit. Militia, just quite a lot of them. So I would expect to take some casualties here just from the size of the fight. I've also got a problem that the Boar Boys are definitely going to run into the militia, but I would hope that they wouldn't take any casualties. Let's see what happens. So on the charge, going to kill plenty, but then they might get a bit bogged down. And the Wild Boys are going to take the heavy infantry in the side, which is unfortunate. I might lose a couple of Wild Boys there. Let's just zoom through. So the militia break, and then the Boars come in and help clean up the heavy infantry. What did we lose? We lost 1 Orc Boy, fine. 2 Savage Orc Wild Boys, that's not ideal, but okay. They will always just take some casualties because although they've got 16 hit points, they only have 11 protection from their invulnerability, and that's not really, you know. They rely on the ore to keep them alive, and sometimes it doesn't always work. An unexpected event has occurred in Iron Range. Now, is this going to be a bad event, continuing our run of only bad events, or are we finally going to get a good event? It's a good event. It's a hidden lab, which is more exciting possibly for other people than it is for us. But we do get Astral Death, Nature, and Blood. This is all nice income, and an Axe of Hate. An Axe of Hate is a good super combatant weapon. Where is Iron Range anyway? Oh, okay, it's here. So that's not a bad place to get a lab. It's not super exciting, but it's okay. And I'll always take gems. Gems is always nice, particularly of types we don't yet have, or ones that are very hard for us to get, like Astral. We would like to get some gem searching going, but at the moment, we need to focus more on getting our research going. We're pretty slow researchers, really. So our expansion force in Terim, unfortunately, Scud the Shaman has decided that he has gone mad this turn. This is a occupational hazard with greenskin mages. They march to the beat of their own drum, let's put it that way. So what I'm going to do is just stay there for 1 turn. The reason I'm going to do that is because the 3 places we could expand to, we've got this one, which is very weak, and we could easily take it if we had our Bless. Without our Bless, we would maybe take a casualty, and also we could get a bump from the Knights of Sigmar's Blood moving in, which we would maybe win, but would lose a lot of troops. And without our Bless, I don't want to do that. So we're going to stay put, and we're going to recruit some stuff to build up on numbers, because the thing that we've just lacking is sheer numbers here. Given that we do take casualties, we need to keep that going. The other places we can expand are these Ictiids, which, as we know, are fairly tough, and 60 Barbarians, very tough. So not something I want to take on without my Bless. Once we've got our Bless, we will reassess next turn. We don't need to think about that now. We just wait for him to not be mad, so we'll just patrol for the moment. Let's have a quick look at the Axe of Hate. Magic Resource Treasury. Oh, it's Magic Resource, Magic Item Treasury. There we are. This is the Axe of Hate. As you can see, it's hard-hitting magic weapon, very accurate, and extra effects on damage. If you do manage to damage them, you do fatigue and disease, and the fatigue is, armor negating and can't be resisted. So if you can do chip damage with the Axe of Hate, you can fatigue a outer super combatant, and that's basically what it's for. It's not super interesting other than that. It's an okay weapon, but it doesn't keep you alive or anything. It just lets you hit very hard. So we'll probably just throw that on a thug or something at some point, but nothing to worry about at the moment. Doesn't go on Gorkzilla. What does go on Gorkzilla is the Boots of Long Strides. We give him this extra map move and swiftness, and that will allow him to move from the cap onto these Atavi here. So he is scripted to Skeletal Body, hold, attack closest. Skeletal Body, very important here because the Atavi have lots of archers who could hit him in the head and potentially cause a bit of damage, but we should be fine. It has Turmoil 3 there. He is a Chaos Power guy, so when he's in Turmoil 3, he has very high stats, so he'll be repelling them, and he will rely on his fear and awe, and he should fairly easily defeat that province that would otherwise have caused some wounds or casualties to a force we sent to deal with them. We are recruiting a handful more Forest Goblin archers over here. We are moving our force up here to deal with the Deer tribe that dared to beat us that one time. We definitely want revenge for that. And back at our capital, we are recruiting Warboys, and I have switched to recruiting Goblin Wolf Chariots. I'm going to need quite a few Goblin Wolf Chariots before this is a good idea. I'm going to need to, have a good stack of them. But I will tell you why I am recruiting Goblin Wolf Chariots. It's because for 25 gold, you get a size 4 trampler that's quite fast, especially if you drop haste on them, which is a spell we can get, and I believe is in enchantment. It's on our route. Enchantment 4, haste. So that's something we can get and cast. Goblin Wolf Chariots are a good counter, in my opinion, to Chaos Warriors. Particularly shielded Chaos Warriors. Shielded Chaos Warriors don't have particularly high defense because of their armor and shield and everything. They're not particularly resistant to being trampled, and trample, of course, does armor-piercing damage. They're only size 2. They pack in quite close. So cheap chariots, the chariots are about as expensive as a Chaos Warrior each. I think that's actually slightly cheaper than a Chaos Warrior. If we get a ton of chariots and just roll over the Chaos Warriors, that's a good way of dealing with them. And the reason I want to counter against that is because I'm pretty likely to end up in a war with Slaanesh, it looks like to me. They're too close to me. I don't like them having this province. They're going to clearly be, there's going to be an argument over this throne. And their expansion, from what my scout can see, does not appear to be amazing. So I think early attack on Slaanesh may be on the cards. We'll see though. I might have a talk with them. If I'm attacking them, I need something to do with those Chaos Warriors because they are difficult for the Warboys to overcome. They've got very high morale. The order basically doesn't work. We don't have things that hit super hard. You need to hit very, very hard to kill Chaos Warriors. So trampling them is probably our best bet. On the Slaanesh front, another... I shouldn't say front, we're not a warrior. On the Slaanesh side of things, another thing I've noticed is that they've got a Horsemaster sat here, and they went after kind of out of their way to go and get this province to a certain extent because of its population type, which was Amazons. I think they're likely to build a fort here, given that there's a Horsemaster sitting there. If next turn that Horsemaster is still sat there, I might hit that province, even though I'm not really ready for war. I might just send something quickly to hit it to destroy the castle and deny them from having that. Or I could wait for them to build it and go and take it. I'm not sure, but it's worth bearing in mind that I think they're building a fort there based on the fact that there's that Horsemaster set there. Could be wrong. What else are we doing? Not very much. Not very much at all. We have spotted another nation up here. Our scouts have spotted Khorne. I would rather not fight Khorne at the moment. Isn't it interesting, though, how much it seems to be that there is room to expand on this weird diagonal, which I can't really get to. Like, maybe, I think this is the Ogre cap circle here, so it's very unlikely that I would be going after Histria. I'd have to go through the throne, I don't know what's in it. I'll have a look once my force has taken these, and I'll have a look at the cave. I probably would want to have the cave too. But yeah, it's interesting. There's places to expand, but they're kind of off diagonal from me, like down here. So what I really want to do is secure some of this water, and that is why I am recruiting my first Ictiid. And this is going to take a while to build up. We're going to build up just by dumping money into it, an Ictiid underwater expedition, and we'll just start taking water provinces. That's the plan there. We have lots of other ways of getting into the water, but they're going to take a bit of time because I'm so behind on research. Anyway, that's everything for this turn. Not a huge amount to report, so I'll probably be able to fit some more turns into this video, and I will see you in future turns. Thanks for watching. Hello again. It's turn number 8. Research in enchantment is completed. There's not really anything at enchantment level 2 that we particularly wanted. There's personal regeneration, but that's not very exciting. It's enchantment level 3 that we're starting getting good stuff like Fire Shield. So we're going to keep going to enchantment level 3 probably. Although I am quite tempted by construction level 2 to get us underwater, because that would give us a ring of water breathing, and our god could probably go and take some underwater provinces just on his own. There's a battle in Dead Forest. This is our reconstituted Prophet expansion force, taking on the deer tribe that dared to cause me any trouble before. In fact, they defeated me. And you can see our archers are actually doing fairly well against the deer tribe there. We've got some orcs with shields up front. That's making sure they catch those javelins. They did very well. They didn't take any casualties so far. And then the Warboys are just going to blow through these guys. And in come some big uns as well. I always forget how much better the big uns are than the regular orcs. They get that extra bit of offensive output, and they've got better protection. So big uns are actually pretty decent infantry for their price. Lovely, so that's dealt with. Any casualties? No, no casualties at all. Wood of Many Paths. This is our god taking on the horde of monkeys. It's the Monkey Nation. Lots of Atavi and some Makata. I'm expecting the Makata to do nothing, but the Atavi and the archers could do a bit of damage to my god by hitting them in the head, where they don't have such good protection. Of course, their head protection is only 12. So they probably will take a bit of damage, but they do have skeletal body, so they take half damage from the arrows at least. And then we're relying on our fear and our awe and our repel to get us through all of this melee. You can see we're taking some hits there. Fairly tired, and a few hits. Our hit points not fallen down too much though, so not really any risk of afflictions, and we are routing them. Oh, that was a couple of bigger hits there. How much are we on? 61. Yeah, so now a bit below our actual maximum. But they should be routing. Yep. So pretty clean, no afflictions. Dealt with quite a lot of Atavi really. Unexpected event in the Swamp of Forgetting. Population -10. Another just random bad event there. A little bit of patrolling, and we got our first promotion. Savage Orc boss promoted in Dead Forest. So the way the Orc and Goblin promotion mechanic works is you get promoted, you become a whatever you're like, Savage Orc boss or Savage Orc big boss or Goblin war boss, whatever, rising, meaning you're eligible to go to the next stage, and then there's a percentage chance each turn of you being promoted to the next stage, and when that happens you get some troops and you get a better boss. So this will go up to a Savage Orc big boss, and I believe they get to ride around on a boar at that point, which is quite exciting. So we could move up into this throne. I don't know exactly what's there, I don't know how much heavy cavalry there is, so not going to do that immediately. You can see we have spotted Athel Lauren up on this border. I am going to move into this cave and take out these Zots. I don't know exactly how much is in the cave, but we've got troops which have got dark vision. You know, we've got decent dark vision on our troops, so we shouldn't have much trouble at all dealing with the Zots. Zots are pretty bad fighters, and I've just clustered my forces basically in a big blob and put them on kind of hold and attack to deal with the Zots, so we should be fine. Maybe it'll go wrong, who knows. And that's everything up there. Our god is going to head over to here. Now, based on what I'm seeing the Slaaneshi Marauder Light Horseman doing here, and the Horsemaster. Well, they did have a Horsemaster there, but he's moved, I think. Okay, that's interesting. So I thought they were building a fort there, but I'm not sure, because that's just a Light Horseman, not a Horsemaster there anymore. So maybe he's moved out. In which case, probably they're not building a fort there. But anyway, I want to be in position to potentially attack Slaanesh if we feel like it. But definitely attack this throne. I want to go and take this throne and make a strong display of taking that throne. It's an obvious thing for us to expand to get that throne now. We don't have that many other places that we are able to expand to really now. So yeah, going to go for the throne. Not going to go for this one yet. I don't know what's in it, but I would like to ping it and find out at some point. We could... Our god can travel quite far. Interesting. This force down here, I actually hadn't really decided what to do with yet. I can't go and take the ETs. I don't know why I thought that was a land province. It's not. It's an ocean. It's just sort of frozen over. But we are... our choices are we can go into these Atavi down here, or we can attack the barbarians. If we attack the barbarians, I would expect my war boys to do fairly well, but that is a lot of barbarians. It's around 60, so it'll be a very tough fight, and I'd probably lose some stuff, and I'm just not very keen on that. So I think what I will do here is I will either attack the Atavi down here and risk a bump, because probably the Knights of Sigmar have moved down here. So yeah, risk a bump against them. Fairly tough stack of those. I don't know. If we have to fight them first, we could lose a few, and then we might lose in the bump. It's risky. We're orcs, but I don't want to be stupid. Don't really want to take the big risks. So I think, probably the right call if we are going to attack Slaanesh is just to send these troops home. They can travel quite fast if I do things correctly. So we can see from here they can get up to this province or this province, depending on if they've got 16 or 14 map move. Our bosses only have 12, but our shaman has 16, so he can take some troops up to this province. So if we give him the troops that have 16 map move, which is the Warboys have 14, the Boars have plenty, so he could take a bunch of them up there, or he could reach this with just the Boars. I think what I'm going to do... I think what I should do is probably take just the Boars with Scud and head up here. And with these Orcs, take these two and head back to this province. And what is the movement on? Oh yeah, we can't. We're going to create an Indie commander, but he's also got pretty bad map move. So if we move from here, we'd only be moving one more province because we haven't got 20, so we can't go up there. Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to take them a while to get home, all these Orcs, which is a bit unfortunate, really. But I think that is the correct call to head back and to get ready to attack Slaanesh, because that's what I was intending to do, and nobody else is really in a position to fight me. And my expansion is looking like it's basically going to have to be a kind of an underwater expansion now. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. Send my Orcs and things back. My god is going to move back and sit in this lab. He can research from that lab and do things from that lab. Puts him next to Slaanesh, but of course I am going to go for the throne first, so I'm hoping it'll just look like I'm going for the throne rather than threatening them. I may still decide to not go after them. It depends what happens. But yeah, I think I'm going to move people in position to attack that throne. So I'm going to move my Warboys that I've got forward with this Forest Goblin, and we've still got more living units we can take. I think I'll just take the lot. I'm not actually expecting there to be a fight or anything, so we'll just move here. And I might want some more leaders here. Oh, I can't have another leader there, but we're going to recruit a couple more Savage Orc bosses and just get as many troops as we can that are going to be useful in this coming battles. We could take a giant. I mean, I feel like I should do a giant just because I've got people watching and a giant is fun. So if I do that, I would have to take off one of these chariots. Oh, I don't have the recruitment points for it. Actually, forget that plan for the moment. They are fun, but they're just not a particularly feasible thing right now. So, oh, hello. That's right, because we're not getting a Sacred Commander this turn, we can have another Warboy. That's cool. So yeah, I'm just going to keep getting those. And we've got quite a bit of spare money because we are just buying some more military leaders. So I will be recruiting Orcs here. What other commanders have we got moving around? Well, we've got our Goblin Commander here. And we've got our God moving in. Let's have our Goblin Commander just pick up some more troops. There we go. Just more Forest Goblin Archers would be nice, I think. And you have anything down here? Forests are really the best thing for us to recruit from, but we don't have very many. We've got one up here. Yeah, let's start recruiting up here as well. So we'll have another Forest Goblin boss. And over here we will get some... Orcs. So we'll just get some Orc boys and some Savage Orc boys. Just to give us some more troops. And yeah. Get ready to potentially attack Slanesh, but definitely to go after that throne with a relatively significant force. You can see that I'm still recruiting Ictiids. We're going to build up an Ictiid force for sure, and maybe go after some Kalulus. Kalulus are apparently a bit of a joke in terms of underwater troops. So I'm just going to keep them there so I can maybe spy Bless or something. And over here, yeah, we've already doing our recruitment there, so maybe I will just do a quick patrol and knock down some more of that unrest. I have a bit of a problem getting rid of unrest at the moment. I'm going to need to kind of manually patrol and do stuff because of my turmoil scales. That's a bit of an issue, really. Yeah, you don't get any unrest. You don't get any unrest reduction until you get the PD high enough that I'm actually not going to bother doing that for the moment. Scouting wise, we see Khorne, we see Athel Loren. Let's see if we can see what Khorne's bless is by looking at some province that they might attack. They're probably more likely to go for this one than this one, I would say. So I'm just going to move over there. And down here, we've got to look at Nuln. Let's look at this side of Nuln and see what they're up to. Over here, yeah, we're looking for Slanesh. And this is the other side of Slanesh, and this is Athel Loren. It seems like people have a lot more space to expand into than me. I seem to be particularly sandwiched. Maybe that's just sour grapes, though. Okay, is that everything? We have a little bit of gold left over, which I never like to see. Maybe we could recruit another boss or something, or some more troops. Let's recruit some troops here where our orcs are moving to, and they can pick up some of them. We'll just get a few boys there, that's fine. A few boys and a goblin. Lovely. Okay, I will see you next turn. Thanks for watching.